Okay, so look, part E then, approximately 10% of the anglers this year caught their first fish within 1 hour. How does this percentage compare with last year's percentage? Well, if you look at last year's percentage, okay, within 1 hour, remember we calculated earlier, 2 people caught within an hour. So 2 people out of course, if you remember, there were 17 anglers last year, so 2/17, okay, caught it last year. So, you know, we'd need this as a percentage, wouldn't we? To do that without a calculator is troublesome. Obviously, it's going to cause problems, 2/17. But we need to justify really whether this is more than 10% or less than 10%. There's a number of ways you can do it. One way, you could just divide. You could use the bus stop method just to see what that comes out to be. And it just says how does it compare. So we just need to see whether more or less really in terms of percentage. So if we divide by 17, okay, 17 into 2 doesn't go, so I put the 0 there, and I'm going to carry the 2, so because there's nothing there, decimal point here, decimal point there, carry the 2, well there's zeros here, isn't it, so carry that 2. 17 then into 20 this time goes once, and there's 3 left over, isn't it, and big 0 again. 17 then into 30 it goes once, okay, and of course there's 13 left over this time, okay, 13, so carry that, so I've got 130 now, and 17 into 130, well I could keep going, right, but ultimately it's going to be 0.11, so when you times that by 100, of course, because it's a decimal, 0.11, etc., times by 100, I will get 11 point something percent, okay, so we can see then 11%, percentage last year was greater, okay, percentage of anglers last year catching fish within 1 hour was slightly greater. Okay, there is another way, there's a sort of backwards way you could go around it. You could see what 10% of last year's was. This is a back sort of door entry to it, so to speak. So if you didn't do it this way, you could see, well, what was 10% last year? 10% last year, 10% of 17 is 1.7, isn't it? Okay, because there's 17 anglers last year, so 10% is 1.7, but obviously then, if 10% of 17 is 1.7, and we know that 2 anglers actually will win an hour, we know then it's going to be more than 10%. Okay, it's going to be more than 10% last year because it was 2 anglers, not 1.7. So you could use a similar statement then. You could say the percentage is slightly greater than 10%. Okay, part 2. Do you think it is fair to compare last year's competition results with this year's competition results? You must give a reason. I think the clear reason here is no, it's not fair to compare, okay? Because we're talking about here catching fish and the masses and so on, and things can change, can't they, in the course of a year, okay? Conditions can change. So we could say that, right? We could say conditions may be different. Conditions may be different. Okay? Of course, the weather could affect it as well, couldn't it? Okay, the weather could be different last year compared to this year, and that could affect maybe the mass of the fish, but also could affect how the fish swim in the sea when it's raining, when it's not raining, and so on. Lots of different reasons. The other reason you could give as well is that you've got many more people competing, haven't you? 3 times as many in this year compared to last year, so it may be not easy to compare then. So any reason like that will give you the maths.